Okay, so welcome back to the channel. And as you see, we're going to be talking about the PS5 VR controller that was showcased by Sony a couple days ago. Very interesting looking controller. Not too big of a fan with the orb or the ring around the wrist, but let's get into it. So, if you didn't know, Sony showcased the PSVR controller for the PlayStation 5. They haven't dubbed the official name for it yet, so I'm going to continue to talk about it as PSVR for the PlayStation 5. I'm not going to call it PSVR 2 and get stuck and then have to change it when they change it. But yeah, we haven't seen the headset. They have spoken about their headset to express that there will be one cable that plugs into the system itself. And it's going to be straightforward, I guess, this time around, opposed to having a separate box and the whole big shebang that we have for the first PSVR, right? So hopefully that single cable is USB-C that goes directly into the front of that system, so there is no back routing and all that other nonsense, and the cable's long enough to where we don't yank the system off the entertainment center, and it's not a bunch of nonsense going on. But I digress. So getting into this controller and how Sony went about explaining the design and what would actually come along with this controller. As you see, all the buttons that are currently here are very familiar. You have your home button, you have triangle, square, circle, X. You have what I'm assuming is the share button and the options button as well. So everything that's very familiar with right now with the PS5 controller, the DualSense controller. So there would be no confusion as into having to relearn what buttons to press and what their functionalities may be. Now, before I go further into this, from what I'm looking at with this controller, these controllers should allow me to navigate the entire UI of the PS5, hands down. And the reason why I'm saying that is currently right now on the PSVR, there's times where you have to use your DualShock controller before you can use your Move. You can't use the Move at all because there's no analog sticks. And the PS4 wasn't necessarily built for that, so therefore there are no motion controls to where you can kind of point at things and click on them. It's just a whole mess. Taking PS3 product, mixing it with PS4 product, mixing it with brand new VR product, and it was just one big mess. You know what I'm saying? One big gangbang. You know what I'm saying, if you will, when it comes down to product. So but yes, we have all the familiar buttons. The only thing that really changed was this grip here that is, L1 R1, but grip is necessary if you've ever played VR due to the fact of being able to have to grab things here and there. Is here on the Oculus controller as well. As you see, they have BA and they have XY opposed to, let's say, Microsoft or Nintendo, right? And you have your grip here, and then there's a home button along with the stick, and pretty much same thing Sony has right here. The only difference is this orb position, which is pretty interesting, right? And also looking at this situation of how they decided to go with this form factor, what does this mean for us as far as accessories go? Can we add more to this controller? Can we get knuckle straps so that way we can't open our hands without our controllers dropping? Because wrist straps or not, I will prefer knuckle straps so that way I can fully open and close my hands. But it is what it is. So now to get into the features of what Sony says comes along with this controller, pretty much it's the DualSense controller, just in the VR form factor, right? You got the adaptive triggers, you got the haptic feedback, finger touch detection, which is, not on the DualSense, but within VR is something that's necessary. The tracking will be done by the headset, opposed to what I thought would be the HD camera whenever it was released. Now, I don't know who uses the HDR camera to stream or do anything else, so I honestly thought it was geared up for VR because I knew a new VR headset was coming. So the fact that it's not going to be used and the headset is going to be the one tracking, kudos. I love it. So it is what it is on the camera, but I just love the fact that tracking is being done by the headset. Now, the action buttons, like I said, will be the grips, which are dubbed respectfully L1 R1. So it's a nice setup. I mean, nice look. I would say that I would have expected them to be white and black, kind of do the panda style, kind of what they did with the PS5. But if you want to have a full matching set, you can definitely go to D brand and get the plates that are black, so therefore it all matches, no issue. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious, but at the same time, this does raise a lot of questions. Will the PS4 VR games be backwards compatible? what kind of games are we getting with this when it comes down day and date? Are we going to have, long gaps? Will there be third parties that's coming over with their games? Will Sony usher in a situation kind of like Oculus, to where you have app labs, to where there are creators that have to go through a certain system to where they can put their games on there early and then get the approval from Oculus after the fact, so we can kind of get a feel and kind of beta test these games before they actually hit the market? Will you be able to sideload games, music for Beat Saber or anything like that? When it comes down to pricing, like, what is the price going to be? I mean, even if they did go the $400 or $500 route, they're still cheaper than the highest competitor, which is the Index. The Index is well into the thousands right now, and your cheapest headset that I would say is worth it is the cheaper Oculus at $300. So even if they go the 400 route, they're still in that competition with Oculus. I say the only thing Oculus would have on them in that regard is the completely wireless free situation. And even if you're talking about, the PS5 has the horsepower that the Oculus doesn't have, virtual desktop or even the Oculus Link kills that narrative instantly. So Sony has some competition on their hands in the market, because there is no system that needs to be purchased to use this Oculus. So they already win in that regard. Even if this is $300, $400, $500, you still have to include the purchase of the PS5 if you can get one. So let's just throw it out there hypothetically. This is $400. The PS5 is $500 if you get the disc version. If you get the digital, it's $400. So let's go for the low ball. That's still $800 off rip for you to get the system and the VR headset minus the games, and you're plugged up to where, like I said, Oculus, while I'm pretty sure the resolution be better with the PSVR, even if you want a better resolution, it's $300 for this, $20 for virtual desktop. That's $320 right there. If you want to get the cable, the official cable from Oculus, that's what, $70 or $80? That's still $370, $380. So you still come out cheaper with Oculus, to where it has Facebook integration for you to find your friends. And I know some people don't like Facebook, but it's whatever. If you think about privacy, you shouldn't be on the internet, period, because your privacy is already dead in the water as is. But that's another situation. But when it comes down to the Oculus in itself, and how I mentioned the customization and everything else you could do with it, whether it's stickers, you talk about VR, a cover giving you different face plates, being able to get prescription lenses put in there, just everything with the controllers, to where you can have grips, you can have, like I said, the knuckle straps. There's so much Sony has to come out the gate with, because even though this is neither Oculus or PlayStation's first foray. PlayStation had the PSVR, Oculus had, a lot of headsets, but let's stay in the Quest realm. They had the Quest 1 already. This is their Quest 2. So I say this is the PSVR 2 situation. So while it looks nice, I'm pretty sure they'll have the games, because they had it with the PSVR in a sense. And they have the appeal and they have the market space. Sony gonna have to come out swinging, because Facebook showed up with Oculus and gave you something that can really get you into VR at a cheap price point and give you a full-fledged situation, whether it's entertainment or gaming. And like I said, customization. Show you, if you haven't seen my video of VR, look at this. The Oculus doesn't come like this. I bought an HTC Vive headset, bought 2 molding pieces from someone online, and bam, there you go. I have a FrankenQuest 2, to where the headsets, but the headphones are already built on. I bought this counterweight so it can even out the weight and everything else. And it's comfortable, and it does what it needs to do, and it's wireless. Point blank period, wireless. And then they also have situations to where you look at Anker. Anker is well known for their charging situations and everything else. You can buy a wireless charging dock from Anker for the Quest. Pop it in there, and it charges up your controller and your headset. So Sony doesn't have to worry about that in regards to the headset charging, but they will have to worry about that for the controllers, which I'm kind of curious where in the world the batteries go, or how you actually put the batteries in here. But I'm pretty sure they'll explain all that. But from this form factor, I honestly can't even tell. I'm assuming right here you can pop that off, and this piece comes off here, and you put it in there. So maybe that's the case, but all in all, what I'm saying is I'm very interested in what Sony's doing with this VR headset, but it's not like they're on this market by themselves. They have competition, and the competition is steep. If you want to talk expensive, the Index got them. If you're talking about a low price point, the Oculus got them. So they can be the middle bird where you can say, okay, well, you got VR and PlayStation 5 games, but if we're only talking about VR headspace, they got to come with it. They have to on the game front, pricing point, customization point, and the support front. They have to, because there's a lot of indie developers are not known, I guess, not known developers that really do put out great VR games. And if they don't give those creators that space the way that Oculus does or the way that Steam VR does, this can easily be dead in the water outside of people that have PS5s and want to just try everything VR, such as myself. You know what I mean? So I would love to see Sony take this to a whole nother level and just raise the bar with this as my Xbox continues to make noises for notifications. But yeah, I'm interested. So definitely let me know. Like, share, subscribe, and leave comments down in the bottom. Let me know how you think Sony's going to take this, how they're going to push this. What's the price point? What games can you see coming to the VR? I'm interested. I'm interested to see Sony first party VR games. They have awesome first party console games. I need to see what they're doing with VR. Give me bring Uncharted back and give me an Uncharted VR. Give me a dumbed down version of Horizon Zero Dawn in VR. You know what I mean? Like, give me games like that in VR, not those games with VR functionality added into it. Give me a new experience, kind of how they did with Uncharted with the PS Vita. Give me those situations to where they're VR and they really were meant and built from the ground up for VR. And I guarantee you, they have a killer on their hands. Hell, Astrobot is numero uno. Sackboy, numero uno in that situation. And bring Tearaway back. You know, there's so many things Sony can do. Even though they shut down Sony Japan, and I know some of those games won't come. Gravity Rush would have been crazy on VR. But it's gone now. So it is what it is. But yeah, just let me know, like I said, down in the bottom what you guys think. And it's been your boy Action Jack. Peace.